art history plays a huge role in the conversation of the history of the world. We study history so that we can understand better the human story, so that we can understand where we came from and who we are as a people. Art is so important because it can be used to help spread a message of inspiration and making people achieve great things in life. Expressionism, 1890 to 1933. It was a reaction to passive style of Impressionism. Early Expressionism was considered part of Post-Impressionism. In fact, one of the pioneers of Expressionism was the Post-Impressionist Vincent van Gogh. Expressionism is characterized as a deeply personal style. In art, an expressionist artist communicates personal feelings about the subject rather than just painting what he or she sees around. The message of the artist takes precedence over the realistic depiction of the subject. The representation of an object would sometimes be distorted or sometimes be replaced with imagery to better communicate the artist's opinion and heighten the impact upon the viewer. This resulted to artworks that were expressive and subjective. Expressionist artworks are characterized by thick applications of paint or impasto, giving texture and evoking an intense and violent mood of the work. The colors used are bold, often strong and unnatural. The brushstrokes are loose and freely applied. Other pioneers of the movement were Paul Gauguin and Edward Munch.
Edward Munch was a Norwegian painter and printmaker. He was born in 1863 in Norway. Edward Munch's life is full of tragedy and death. He lost his mother when he was 5 and his elder sister a few years after. One of his younger sisters suffered from mental illness, and his brother died a few months after getting married. These experiences were later expressed through his art. That is why most of his well-known artworks use images that evoke the feeling of anxiety, isolation, rejection, and death. One of his most famous works is The Squid, painted in 1893. This artwork exemplifies the characteristics of Expressionism. The painting offers an insight to the artist's inner anxiety, which he called soul painting. It placed more importance on the meaning the artist is conveying rather than showcasing technical skill. The inspiration behind the painting came while he was walking down the road with his friends at sunset. To others, this might inspire a beautiful landscape. But for Munch, this simple outing turned into a hunting moment of extreme existential crisis. In what sounded like a panic attack, Munch is overwhelmed by feelings of exhaustion while also struck by an almost violent wave of anxiety.
Cubism, 1907 to 1922. The Cubist style derives its name from the cube, a three-dimensional geometric figure composed of strictly measured lines, planes, and angles. Cubism was a style that grew from the collaboration of Pablo Picasso and George Braque. It was inspired by the geometric style and composition of Paul Cézanne. Its revolutionary approach to represent reality redefined fine arts. Foremost among the Cubists was Spanish painter or sculptor Pablo Picasso. Cubism developed in the aftermath of Pablo Picasso's shocking seven, Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. In a period rapid experimentation between Pablo Picasso and George Braque, Cubism is characterized by showcasing an object from multiple points of view and at different times. The subject is then reconstructed out of these different planes of views. Cubist artworks were a play of planes and angles on a flat surface. In earlier styles, subjects were depicted in a three-dimensional manner formed by light and shadow. In contrast, the Cubists analyzed their subjects' basic geometrical form and broke them up into a series of planes. Then they reassembled these planes, tilting and interlocking them in different ways. Cubism concentrated on the two-dimensional surface and rejected the technique of linear perspective and modeling.
Surrealism, 1924 to 1966. Surrealism was an art movement that started in 1924 by a writer, poet, and Dadaist André Breton. It started as literary movement but was adapted to the visual arts. Surrealism was influenced by the works of the psychologist Sigmund Freud. Freud stated that dreams were people's subconscious way of dealing with personal issues and realities. With this mindset, Surrealists believed that dreams and subconscious were as severe as the waking state and set to free the creative power of the subconscious. Surrealists expressed their art through a realistic depiction of objects but set or distorted beyond the capabilities of reality. It combines objects or elements together that would never be together in real life. Because of these illogical arrangements, Surrealist artworks give a dreamlike quality that can be cheerful as a dream or can be as terrifying as a nightmare. One of the most recognizable surreal artworks is The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali. The painting depicts a number of melting clocks in a barren landscape. Other pioneers of the movement were Joan Miro and Andre Masson.